From military operations to teaching to being a full-time mother and much more. Taylor Austin shares the story of tonight's remarkable woman.
It was kind of a lonely world. There was a lot of battles you fought.
Her tears are not tears of sadness, rather tears of strength. Meg Vanderlaan graduated high school from Armour, South Dakota in 1988. From there, she decided to join the Army Reserve to help her pay for college. She would spend 6 months after graduation in Alabama, where she would train for nuclear and biological warfare. After her training, she would go on to Mount Marty University, where she would study respiratory therapy. However, after she transferred to South Dakota State University, she realized respiratory therapy was not her calling and went on to be a science teacher instead. There is where she would meet her husband, Chad. They would both eventually land teaching jobs in Mohall, North Dakota, where they would raise their 3 children, Anna, Cole, and Brooke. However, teaching was not the only job Vanderlaan was taking on.
The full time I was going to Army Reserve training on weekends and doing my 2-week training, and then after 2001, after the 9/11 happened, everything kind of changed for that, and that's when I started doing more military things. Then I started teaching, so I was flying to Denver or flying to Missouri, on weekends.
In 2004, Vanderlaan would be transferred as a transportation specialist to Iraq for a year. There, she would act as a liaison between the Kuwait police and convoy commanders. However, Vanderlaan's time in the Army as a woman was not a pleasant experience.
It's different for females. Again, I was housed differently. I was separated, after hours. They did their thing, but I couldn't be with them because they're in their own tents and I'm in my tent, and there's that separation.
Vanderlaan experienced very hard times while overseas. When she returned a year later, she found it was very hard to readjust to normal living circumstances. Vanderlaan and her family decided to move to Pollock, South Dakota for a new beginning, where she would also begin her journey of healing. She would teach in Linton and Hazleton for several years, then moved on to teach at the state penitentiary, where she said she learned more from the students there than they learned from her.
I met some of the most incredible people that I worked with there teaching, and some incredible people that were incarcerated. I grew and I healed with being able to experience their experiences going through therapy and learning and growing. And so I truly enjoyed working and teaching at the state pen.
After 2 years at the state pen, Vanderlaan would then land her current role as a science teacher at the Dakota Boys and Girls Ranch. Vanderlaan said her own traumatic life experiences have helped her be more understanding of the students at the ranch.
I think that we overlook the importance of children beginning life in a trauma-free environment and giving them a chance for their brains to develop without trauma. Let's do better for children is really something that is important to me.
Vanderlaan says she wouldn't have made it through if it weren't for her band of strong women that are there to support her. This remarkable woman has a message to share to all the other strong women out there.
Just to be able to talk to and support other women has been a saving grace for me. We have to be strong, but we have to be strong with each other, and we have to support each other. And I don't need a man's approval to know I'm worth something.
For KX News, I'm Taylor Austin.
Vanderlaan says her time on active duty has changed how women are perceived in the military.